Hey, what's happening? It's your boy, the host, the CPB 23, and I'm giving you my prediction. I pretty much gave you guys a prediction on my last video, but this one is about Roy Jones versus Bernard Hopkins. As you all know, this is the stepping back, check left hook, make you eat the ring post boxing show, and it's brought to you by Blueberry cereal. My shit. I'm gonna tell you right now. If I ever, I'm in the army, right? If I get deployed one day, which could be soon, this will be my body armor right here. This is my shit. Okay, I'm talking shit, diarrhea shit. Okay, this is my shit right here. If you haven't had a box, man, you don't know what the fuck you've been missing. Now, Frankie Berry, Count Chocolate, blah blah blah. Roy Jones versus Bernard Hopkins. Now, like I said, I pretty much clarified who I thought was going to win, but it's time to start putting out some numbers. All right, going over both careers. I think Roy Jones is the second greatest fighter of all time, the second greatest boxer of all time, right behind Floyd Mayweather. So, and you know how, and if you guys don't know, I think Floyd is like amazing. He's above, head over heels above everybody. And then you got Roy, and then you got the rest of the people that fall in line, Sugar Ray Robinson, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, Roy Jones' career. Okay, he lost 5 fights, obviously, but 2 were the Tarver, 1 was the Kawasaki, and if you want to count if you want to count the Montel Griffin, which is gay, I don't think so, because he knocked out Griffin. He just landed an extra punch that wasn't really effective. He was already knocked the fuck out anyway. But if you want to add that in there, that's fine. So he has 5 losses. To me, technically, I think he has 4 losses. But he is the second best ever. Now, Roy Jones, notable wins. His last 2 fights, he's been very active. Shaker, Lacey, whooped both of their ass. In fact, he whooped fucking Lacey's ass. If you haven't seen that fight, go look at it. If you want to see a Rodney King ass whooping, I think that's pretty much close as you're gonna get. I mean, he hit him with everything but a fucking 2x4 and a baseball bat. He was whooping his fucking ass. He was dancing. He was showboating. I never seen Roy showboat like that. I mean, he was out of hand showboat, like grabbing his nuts, spitting on the rings, and stumping his shoes in the spit. He was doing all kinds of shit, man. And if I was Jeff Lacey, I'd retire right now. Retire. Jeff, listen to me. Look me in the eye. Retire, man. For real. Okay, so now you got Roy Jones. Notable losses. Woo! Knocked the fuck out by Glenn Johnson. In fact, that motherfucker Roy Jones is still flying right now. I mean, he had a couple of fights, but he was still flying. I mean, that fucking Glenn Johnson knocked the fuck out of Roy Jones. He landed. He just landed over there. Look. Okay, I'm just bucking with you. No, Glenn Johnson knocked his ass out, and it was a win by knock the fuck out. It wasn't a knockout. It was knock the fuck out. So, like Ricky Hatton, Manny Pacquiao knocked the fuck out. So you got that happen. Right now, Roy Jones is winding down his career. Bernard winding down his career. I mean, unless Bernard planning on fighting until he's 85 years old. So this is how my clock goes. Once you turn 30, on your 31st birthday, every year is about a year and a half to 2 years. So let's say Roy Jones is 31 years old right now. His next year, he'll be 33. The next year, he'll be 35 the year after that. Bernard Hopkins is working on. Now, I believe when you're 40 years old and you're boxing, but any sport, every year is like 3 to 4 years. So 40, 44, 48, you're getting old. And Bernard he's been rusty. He hasn't fought. He hasn't fought. He hasn't fought in about, what, 2 years now, 2.5 years. So basically, no, it hasn't been 2.5 years. It's about a year and 2 months. But for a 45-year-old fighter, you got it. I think it's about 2.5 years. So he fought Kelly Pavlik Kelly Pavlik, you know, he basically stood in awe as as Bernard Hopkins just tattooed him in the middle of the ring. So, you know, he basically had an easy fight. And but remember, this is what I'm going to give Bernard credit for. He beat Glenn Johnson. I think it was 97, 98. He beat Glenn Johnson. He stopped Glenn Johnson. He didn't beat him. He stopped him. Roy Jones got knocked the fuck out by him. Bernard Hopkins, some people thought Bernard might have won that fight against Kawasaki. So let's say he gave Kawasaki a better challenge than Roy did. He beat Tarver. Now, granted, Tarver was filming the Rocky movie, you know, and he can make an excuse. He was doing some other stuff, you know, at the time, like Lennox Lewis with Rockmine. You know, Lennox Lewis was filming a movie when Rockmine knocked his ass out. You know, that's what happens. But either way, he beat him, right? So by right, wouldn't Bernard Hopkins be the better fighter? Hell no. I think Roy Jones is still better than him, and Roy Jones, you know, obviously beat him, you know, way back when. And Roy Jones has the style and the antidote to beat Bernard because he's done it already. So I think the advantage goes in Roy's corner. Number one, he's got like I said, once you turn 40, it's 4 or 5 years. He's got about an 8-year fucking advantage on Bernard. You know, the fact that he has a layoff. So right then and there, you know, hey, I'm taking Roy in this fight. I mean, I love them both. I love Bernard to death. I love Roy Jones, but I think Bernard, he's my top 10 greatest of all time. But Roy Jones is the second best ever. Period. I don't care what nobody say. You guys can leave comments if you guys disagree. Please leave some respectful ones and stuff like that. You know. So, Roy has an impressive career. Bernard beat Trinidad. Notable win. I mean, he won in the 12th round, which is crazy. So, hey, get a guy credit. Bernard Hopkins is good. He's great. He's one of the greatest of all time. So, it's going to be a good fight. I just think Roy would stop him, believe it or not. I think he'll be the first person to stop Bernard. I'm taking 10 rounds. He'll stop Bernard in Bernard's career. I mean, when Bernard was chasing Roy around, I mean, Carcino has it on the tape when they were arguing on the phone. You know, Roy told Bernard, "Hey, if I beat you, it's over. You're done. Your career is done. You're in the toilet." And I'm talking about in the toilet. Jermaine Taylor, you know, he beat Bernard, but he didn't beat him impressively. He didn't knock him out. Those fights were boring as fuck. I mean, it was like watching a rerun of fucking Family Ties. It was boring. So, you know, like I said, Roy. I'm taking Roy, the best. So, leave comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me if it's if leave them respectable ones. Okay. CPB. Holla.